everybody. I'm so excited to be doing this. You have no idea. Anyways, so I'm doing this YouTube video because I want to talk about my cancer journey. And what prompted me to do this is when I was diagnosed with breast cancer and I started to do research and everything, and I was watching people's stories and, you know, just doing what I needed to do to learn as much as I could. I didn't see a lot of women who look like me. And excuse the pause real quick. Today's my birthday. I'm 38 today. And so I tend to every year, it's a tradition now. I think it's like 4 or 5 years I blow up balloons for myself. I put balloons up. I'll show you guys before the video. And I buy me flowers and everything, and I celebrate my birthday like that for me too. So, you know, anyway, that's neither here nor there. But, you know, so I wanted to do this video because I've been documenting my journey thus far. And I started to do it on TikTok, and really good videos, really dope. Follow me on TikTok before they cut it off, whatever. But anywho's, so I started to document my journey on social media and everything, sharing my journey, because I haven't seen a lot of young girls that look like me. And I'm just like, dang, I know, you know, we're being diagnosed and everything, and I haven't seen anybody share their story. And I wanted to share my story because I just wanted to put, I want to encourage people. I want to put courage out there, bravery out there, so that you can just see that you can get through it, you will get through it, and just continue to do your best and fight for your life, okay, honey? Like, there's so much things happening around us, and we're not going to give up on our life just because, like, you understand what I'm saying? We're not doing that. And I figured, you know, my body may be going through some stuff, you know what I'm saying, but mentally, I'm here. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're going to do this. We're going to figure this shit out. We're going to beat this shit. Excuse my language. I'm so sorry. We're going to beat it, and we're going to do what we need to do. So I'm like, let me just share my story just in case, you know, just to help someone, you know, and that's that. Like, right? So that's why I'm doing this video today. So I have some stuff here because I didn't want to, I just wanted to make sure. And I'm a little nervous. You know what's so crazy? Because on TikTok, I'm not nervous. Like, now I'm nervous, I guess, because it's going on YouTube. I don't know. But anyway, I have made a chart here, if you can see, just to make sure that I didn't skip over some things or whatever. So, back in August of 23, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, DCIS, ductal carcinoma in situ. And it's a stage 0 breast cancer. And they say that most women get this type of cancer and they don't even know, because it's the way it grows in their breast. So it's like, if it's growing at a small rate, then some women can live with it. And if it's growing at a, you know, a higher rate, then, you know, like me, of course, then they gotta take it out, you know, do what they need to do or whatever. So let me just back up a little bit. So I have a strong family history of cancer that runs in my family. I feel like it's all kinds of cancer: prostate cancer, breast cancer, lupus, whatever, stomach cancer, like all kinds of shit, right? So naturally, when I learned my family history of cancer, I started to get checked. So just for reference, we're going to start with my mom's side. Maternally, my mom had breast cancer. My grandmother had breast cancer. My mom's parents had cancer. So my grandmother had breast cancer. My granddad had prostate cancer. On my grandmother's side, her siblings had breast cancer or some form of cancer. On my grandpa's side, he had breast cancer, and his family members had some form of cancer. So that's just maternally. And then paternally, on my dad's side, my nana had breast cancer in her 30s, and my aunt had breast cancer in her 30s. So when I learned my family history of breast cancer, naturally, I got to do what I need to do. So I started to get checked. the first thing I did was go to a gene counselor, specialist to talk about, you know, what are the percentages of me getting cancer or whatever. And they gave me the BRCA test, which is the gene test to see if I even had the cancer gene. Thank God I didn't. Just, you know, praise God for that. So I didn't have the gene. However, they were saying because my family history is so strong that there's still a high percent chance that I'm going to get it. So it was a 65% chance that I still was going to get it. I'm like, damn, like, that's crazy. Even without the gene? Like, spare me. But anywho, so I started to get checked. Every year I get my mammogram, and in between that, I would get ultrasounds. My breast, very dense breast. My breast grew like that. Dense breast is just having scar tissue in my breast. They just grew like that, right? Nothing happened to my chest. My breast just grew dense. So I'm like, okay, so now when your breast is dense and you have a lot of scar tissue in it, it's really hard for them to, no, my balloons fell. What? I'll show you. Dang. Any hoosers. So, it's really hard for them to see through your tissue in your breast when they're dense. So they'll do the mammogram. If the mammogram can't get it, they'll go through and they'll just look through to see the ultrasound, you know, sonogram and everything to see, you know, to get deep in there. So that was me. So for the past 10 years, I've been going twice a year to check my breast. Just on a regular routine checkup, I went, they told me I had the breast cancer. Now, a lot of people ask that I have symptoms. And at first I was saying no, which was crazy. But looking back at it, I did have a few symptoms. Now, one of the few symptoms that I had was, the first one was aching. My breast would ache in a specific spot. Now, women naturally know that when you're going through your cycle, your breasts tend to be sore, you know, to the touch, you know, anything, right? To air, a breeze will go by, your breast is hurting. Anyway, so this, for like maybe 3 or 4 months, I would have a specific ache, like right in the duct of my breast, which is the nipple, right? But it only ached when I was going through my cycle. So I'm like, okay, like maybe my body is just changing, because my body tends to do that a lot. Every year is something new with my body, every year, right? So I'm like, well, maybe it's just, you know, something. I did bring it up to my doctor, my primary care doctor, and she's like, you know what? Maybe it's just your cycle. So I'm like, okay, like, you know, maybe so, right? Also, I gained weight. I gained 10 pounds. And I was like, ooh, loving the 10 pounds, honey. I'm thinking, finally, I'm getting a grown woman's body. Finally, my breast is getting bigger. Finally, like, girl, I'm not walking around looking like no little baby. So it was achy breast. It was me gaining weight. My pressure was high. It was higher than normal. It wasn't high concerning to the doctors, but it was high for me, because I'm like, my pressure is never high. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't alarming to the doctors, but I'm like, wow, dang, there's something going on with my body, because this is like, you know, whatever. Now, I was eating cup of noodles at work or whatever, like for lunch. And I'm thinking, well, maybe it's that. But no. So it was the gaining weight. It was the aching in the breast. It was my pressure. It was also, what else was it? My pressure, gaining weight, achy. I was fatigued, like abnormally. Like I was just like always so like, like, you know? And hopefully I could it come across too. What else? It was maybe a couple other things. But all this stuff was happening to my body, and heart palpitations. I had like for like 2 weeks, my heart was like, I'm talking about, I had to wear a heart monitor for 2 weeks. They was like, everything is all right with your heart, everything is okay. But I'm like, dang, it's something going on, because I'm like, you know, I'm just having heart palpitations, waking me up out of my sleep. I'm talking just boom, 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 out my chest. And I'm like, what in the world? So, you know, me and my honey thinking it's gas, and, you know, it's, you know, what, you know, maybe I'm eating too much before I go to bed. We think of all kinds of things, right? Come to find out, my heart is fine or whatever. So now it's time for me to get a checkup, and she's giving me my ultrasound, and I'm like, okay, cool. So she gets to the part where it's achy in my breast, and I'm like, oh, it's right there. I can feel it. Like, I'm like, oh, it's right there. So I'm like, all right. So clearly she's gonna see whatever. Girl, don't you know, she had me on that table for like 30-35 minutes, just like, you know, getting it, you know, just trying to see, like, you know. So then it was like, you know, we're gonna need to give you you're gonna have to get your mammogram. I get my mammogram. The technician showed me the cluster that was in my breast, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, okay. So then it was like, you're gonna have to get a biopsy, and I got they scheduled me to get an MRI biopsy. That's the first time I ever got that, so that they can see really where it's at. And then I actually got 2 ultrasounds. And the second technician, I was on her table too for like 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and she was holding her breath. She was like, it was so crazy because she was not breathing. And she was like, after like the 30 minutes, like, she was like, I'm surprised. She was holding her breath for that long, and she was like, I was not breathing because I wanted to get it. And then they had the doctor call me, and she was like, oh, you know, it looks benign or whatever, but we want to make sure, so we're gonna get you the biopsy with the MRI. So I'm like, cool. You know, now mind you, none of this alarmed me, because I had biopsy done on both my breasts. I had on my left side, I had a biopsy like maybe 5 times, including the last one, and then on this side was 4 times, including the last one. So I'm like, that's just my breast, right? So it comes back that I have the DCIS, and I'm like, I bet. They sent it to my portal. I looked up. I didn't sleep for 48 hours because I wanted to make sure I knew what the hell was going on. The thing that confused me is that I had 2 types of cancers. I had the DCIS, and then I had the invasive DCIS, which it came out like a little bit, like, so it traveled, right? I don't want to say metastasized because like it didn't spread, but it did come from out of the duct. Right, so I guess you could say that it spread, but it was still the DCIS, right? So it was 2 types. So I was confused at first, but then when I learned that it was 2 types, so the DCIS was just pre-cancer. It was a lot of that, and then it was a small amount of live cancer. So when I went to speak with the oncologist, the surgeon oncologist, she was explaining to me what I already knew because I had did the research. So she was doing more confirming for me, and I'm like, all right, bet. She was like, we can't save your left breast. We're gonna have to take it, unfortunately. Now, me doing my research and me watching videos and hearing testimonies, the women who had the DCIS, they all had double mastectomies. I was like, oh, okay, so that's a thing. That may be an option for me. I mean, that may be a possibility for me. So I'm like, okay, if they have to take my breast, I'm cool with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want the cancer. I was like, it's either my life or my breast. And listen, I went for my life. Ain't nobody got no time, honey. And this is the crazy part. 3 years ago, I lost my mom to breast cancer. So at 56, she had the breast cancer. 56, 60. Okay, 60, her breast cancer came back. But it came back in her liver and her bones, right? So I'm like, I'm not new to this cancer shit. I was just like, no, y'all can take my breast. And there's still a possibility that it could reoccur, but we rebuke that, Satan. We're not doing that. But, so I was like, you know what? It's either my life or my breast. I'm going for my life. Y'all can take my breast. She was like, oh, we can save the right one or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, no, you can take it. Because I already had lesions in my right breast also, and they were high risk anyway. And I was just like, I'm not pressed, right? So we went through the surgery. We got through that, right? And it was like, I did it. I'm going to insert some pictures and everything. I'm going to show you guys the stuff that I had to go through. And I'm not gonna lie to you, them removing my breast, the cancer, that's one thing. I wasn't even, once I realized what type of breast cancer it was, that is curable, you know, and all of this stuff, thank you, God. Early detection, it's a thing, okay? So if you are scared and you don't want to go get checked, or you know, you just thinking I'm good, you know, it's not gonna happen to me, please, ladies and gents, because the men can get this too, please just go to the doctor, just go get checked. 1, 2, 3. You scared, but it's even scarier for you to have something and then not go do your due diligence and make sure you're taking care of yourself. Go to the doctor, please. Like, it's just, do what you need. It's your life. It's your life. If nobody ain't gonna fight for it, then if you're not gonna fight for it, nobody gonna fight for it. It's your life. Anywho, sorry for getting off track. So, where I was at? I didn't want to ramble. That's why I put the thing down here. But so they told me we did everything right. We removed my breast. I decided to go with reconstruction. So they put the expanders in my breast. The expanders is gonna expand my skin so that when they put the implants in, you know, it'll be, my skin will be stretched and it'll be able to fit. So everything was cool. So I'm like, you know what? This is not bad. I did it. I got through it. Bad. So the thing that scared me the most was that, one, the oncologist surgeon was telling me, like, you know, you're not going to have to do no chemo. You're not going to have to do no radiation. You know, you're not going to have to take any medication. You're good. Once we remove this, you're good. I was like, really? I was like, oh, it's that. I was just like, I just couldn't stop thanking God. I was just like, thank you, God. Thank you. Like, I did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right? So then my last checkup with her, they're telling me, oh, you know what? You got to go see the radiologist. And I'm like, for what? Oh, because, you know, you had the invasive carcinoma, DCIS or whatever, and, you know, and I'm like, what? Like, that's not what she told me. So, anywho, I set up my appointment, I go see him. He's like, you're good. As long as you keep taking the medication that they give you, you are good. Now that we're on the medication part, we just gonna pause right here. Because, let me get some water, excuse me, because check this out. Everything went smoothly, right? And everything went so efficiently. Like, everything was just like boom, 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 boom. I was not with it. I didn't even wait for NYU, because I go to NYU. I go to Lenox Hill Radiology to get my yearly mammogram and everything like that. And then once I was diagnosed with the breast cancer, my primary care doctor, she has, like, you know, she's affiliated with NYU. So I didn't even wait for them to for NYU to hit Lenox Hill. I made sure I was just all up in that. I was doing what I needed to do, because we're not waiting, right? Anywho, back to the medication. So now everything went well, right? They removed the cancer. They took a lymph node. They tested that. They took the first layer of muscle in my left breast. Everything cleared. I'm like, come on, yes, boom. So now we get to the medication. So the doctor is like, we're gonna have to put you on tamoxifen, right? And I'm like, tamoxifen. Tamoxifen is a hormone blocker. It blocks estrogen, right? So it's gonna put me in early menopause. All right, cool. She goes, you have two options. You have 20 milligrams, 1 pill a day, or you take 2 10-milligram pills a day. So I'm like, damn, they don't have less than that. In my mind, this is what I'm thinking. I didn't say it out loud. I said it in my mind. And please, ladies and gents, if you have a thought, ask it. Ask it, please. So I said, okay, I'll take the 20 milligrams. All right, bet. So I started taking the medication or whatever. This medication is strong. The side effects is hitting me at an all-time high. Your girl is dizzy. It's making me lightheaded. I get out of bed to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I'm almost tilting over. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. So then I started having hot flashes. These are the side effects. Look up tamoxifen, because I don't really want to talk about the side effects because they scare me, and I don't want to think about that. Like, please. So look up tamoxifen, ladies and gents, if you happen to be watching this video and you're looking for advice or you're looking for encouragement, whatever you're looking for, please look up tamoxifen and look up the side effects, right? So I'm good. Everything is good. I'm on a tamoxifen, taking it every day faithfully for like 12, 13 days. I happen to go out with my my friends. The next day I wake up and I'm messed up. You hear me? I am messed up. I'm messed up. I got a fever, and I'm talking about an ongoing low-grade fever. I had a fever of 101, 102 for 4 days. My heart rate. Thank you. Shout out to Apple, because this watch was going off. I'm talking about every 10 minutes it's going off, because my resting heart rate was my resting heart rate was 100, between 125 beats per minute to 135 beats per minute. My resting, I'm relaxed. My watch going off, right? That. My skin on my hand started to peel down to the red meat. I'm going to insert pictures. I'm going to show you guys everything that I have so that you can see. My skin started peeling, my hands, my tongue, white coating, like patches. My feet started peeling. My legs started to look like I had like these dark spots on it. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I call my oncologist office and I'm telling them my symptoms. And the oncologist nurse goes, that doesn't sound like side effects to the tamoxifen. I said, well, that's the only thing that I've been taking. Like, so it has to be the tamoxifen. She's like, it doesn't sound like it. Maybe you coming down with such and such, such and such. So I said, I'm going to stop taking the tamoxifen. And she was like, well, don't stop taking it. I'm going to stop taking the tamoxifen because I'm not too sure what's going on here. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I'm not taking it. So she was, because naturally I wanted them to call me in so they can see me. But she didn't. So I'm like, I bet. So then I couldn't take it anymore. Maybe 2 days after I called them, I'm like, I'm going to go to the emergency room. So I go to the emergency room. My body is rashed. I'm talking about, it's so rash. My skin is inflamed, right? It's so rashy and itchy that they couldn't even find any veins on no veins. They had to get the vein in my thumb. I never had anything happen like that to me before in my life. I was like, what is going on? Right? They telling me that I'm having an allergic reaction. So I'm like, naturally I'm thinking it's the tamoxifen. Like, I'm allergic to tamoxifen because I'm like, this is the only medication. This is the only thing that's new. I stopped taking that. I'm in that emergency room for 13 hours because they like, you know what? We can't let you go home. And I was dehydrated. The tamoxifen it sucked me like a raisin. I was turning into a raisin. They like, we can't let you go home because your resting heart rate is too high. We got to do a CAT scan to make sure you don't have any blood clots. Like, I'm in there for 12 hours. Oh my God. My face was peeling. I was down bad, yo. All because they put me on 20 milligrams of tamoxifen. So then, naturally, now I'm in the emergency room, whatever. They do what they do for me. I started to feel better. I go home. And guess what happens? Because now my body is all rashy. Mind you, I just had my surgery on my breast. They filling me up. They filling the expanders. Everything is okay with that. But because my body is freaking out, guess what happens to me? My left breast, it tears. I'm not gonna put that picture in there because, excuse me, it may be too graphic. I don't know if that's a thing, but for YouTube, so I'm not gonna put that in there. But it split literally in half. It splits, start leaking out. Like, be for real, seriously? So now I have to go to the emergency room. I have to go to NYU emergency room because clearly they're the ones who put the expanders in. But before I go there, I call the ambulance because I'm freaking out. we go to I live in Westchester, so we go to a hospital up here. I forget the name of the hospital. And they like, you know what, we really can't do anything because we didn't put them in. You got to go to NYU. We go to NYU, they admit me immediately. I'm in NYU. They are pumping. I can't even tell you the milligrams of antibiotics they pumping into me. The only thing I can tell you is that they giving me the strongest antibiotics because they don't want me to get an infection in my chest because the wound is open. That it started to burn my vein. Like, it started to burn me so badly. They had to take it out. My body, stress, she freaking out. And the whole time my mind is, I'm just like, just chill, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get through this. Like, you got this. I'm talking to myself like, you got this. Like I'm saying, we're going to do what we need to do because that's what we do. We do what we have to do at all times. They had to stop giving me the antibiotics because it started to burn me. But I needed to get the antibiotics because I had an open wound. Finally, they take me into surgery. They removed the expander. They sew me all up. I'm good. So now I'm back at square one on my left side. I gotta wait months. Now it's a setback. All because of the medication. All because I don't want to blame myself, but if I would have asked the question that I thought, like, you don't have anything, you don't start at 5, like you automatically start at 20, which is crazy. So then I speak to a nurse and she's like, that's kind of aggressive for a cancer that's not aggressive. And I'm like, right? Like, so I say that to say, this cancer journey it's probably the wildest ride we ever gonna be on if you happen to come across this journey. Like, and I just hope that you just try your best to keep a clear head. Choose what you want to do. Do you want to give up or do you want to fight? And choose to fight. It's your life. Like, I know when we hear the word cancer, it's scary as fuck. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry, because I know my grandma. I don't mean to curse, but it's scary, right? And especially when all you know is death when it comes to cancer. It's scary. But the thing is that you choose. Like, I'm choosing to beat this. I'm choosing. And even though God had the ultimate say, you can choose to fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then whatever's in your will for you to do, for you, everything that you can do for you, you do, and everything else you give to God, right? Because it's just like this. I'm a living testimony that everything is gonna be all right. That you don't have to let anything beat you. You don't have to let this shit beat you at all. You don't have to let it beat you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if I done came across so many women, young women, that is like, that's worse off than me. You know what I'm saying? And that got stage 4 terminal cancer. Like, and they like, please, I'm gonna do what I have to do because this ain't taking me. And that's what I want for you to take away from this video. Absolutely not. Even if you down bad, what we gonna choose to do? We gonna choose to get it. Like, we gonna choose to fight. And that's why I want to share my story, right? That's why I want to help. I'm hoping that I'm helping someone. I'm hoping that I'm preaching to someone, because it's just like, cancer who? Cancer where? Not here. Not here. Not. Okay? Not here. Amen? Not here. Not here, honey. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. This is me clapping, by the way. But anyway, not here, right? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get through it. And even though, you know, I got through it, you know, everything is good. Everything is great. And even though there could be a reoccurrence or whatever, we're not claiming that, but there's a possibility that even if that was to happen, we still not gonna give up. We still doing what we need to do. We still gonna get it. We still choose to live. We still choose to fight. You hear me? It's our life. This is what we doing. We appreciate our life. We love our lives. Even through the toughest times, we love it, you know? And it's like, do what you need to do for yourself. Go get checked. I know it's scary. I know you don't want to hear what I heard. But I'm a living testimony that it's not that bad. It's bad, but then, you know, and even then, we still here today. We still get to encourage someone. We here. Do the best with that. Like, love your life. Love the space that you're in. Love that shit, even through the hard times, because it's a privilege to be here. You know, to meet people and to have, you know, to love on people and to experience the things that we experienced, you know. And I'm just happy to be here. And I hope that you guys can feel like me through this camera, because you got this shit. Like, you got it. Don't give up. You got it. You got it. You got to do what you need to do. Do all the research that you need to do. Go in knowing. Before they tell you something, go in knowing, like, oh, you know, yep. I'm definitely aware of that. Yep. I'm okay with that. Also, again, you have a thought, say it. Because I feel like, had I asked if they had a lower dosage, I wouldn't have had a setback. My setback wouldn't have been that. Months. 3-4 months setback. Just because. And then to come to find out that I can't take 5 milligrams of tamoxifen. Be for real. Be for real. Like what? So I went from 20 to 5? Please. You have a thought, say it. Write down questions, do your research. You are your own advocate here. And we don't need to be intimidated by these doctors or whatever. They don't know our bodies, we do. Like when I was telling my oncologist how everything was feeling, like how I was feeling, and she was like, "That's not the tamoxifen." All of the oncologist nurse, everybody, that's not the tamoxifen. That's not the, no. Come to find out, it was the tamoxifen. It was too high. The dosage was too high. It was too much. When it comes to our body, we are our own advocate. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. Don't speak up for yourself. And I don't want to say don't be afraid. Be afraid. Feel all the feelings and still get busy. You understand what I'm saying? Have people with you that can speak up for you. Have people with you or someone with you. And if you don't have someone, record it. You know what I'm saying? Just so that you're not missing anything that they're saying. Because when you're in this space and you go to the doctor, you are concerned about the things that you're concerned about. So you may be missing certain things that they're saying and stuff like that. If you don't have anybody to go with you, you know what I'm saying? You record that and then go back home and then you listen to it and you write down the questions. It's your life. I'm going to keep saying it's your life. You are your own advocate. You're going to do what you need to do for you. And if you're not going to do it for you, no one else is. You understand? Like, this cancer shit is not oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry for cursing. So, Grandma, if you're watching, please. I know I'm a Christian. Bear with me, girl. Okay? So, and it's our life. It's our life. It is. You know what I'm saying? And I just, like I said, feel all the feelings. Be scared. Feel everything you need to feel. But make sure that bravery is way more than you being fearful. Way more. Feed that. And all this stuff is a muscle. Bravery is a muscle. You do things to make it stronger. Courage, same thing. You do things to make you more courageous. You understand? So please, people, cancer is not end or be all. And then if you have a stronger cancer that's stronger than DCIS and it's like worse, and you know, this still applies to you too. It's your life. You get to choose. Am I gonna fight to the end, or am I gonna give up? How am I gonna show up in this moment? What do I want to leave behind? How do I want people to remember me? And like I said, feel all the feelings. Be angry. Everything. Do all of it. But still, show up. Fight for your life. Like, because all this stuff that's going on, all this craziness and all this, it's our life. And we want to be here. We want to enjoy it. We want to spend it with the people, spend time with the people that we love. We want to have a good time. We just want to be here. We you know, we're grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be here. You know what I'm saying? I love my life. All the stuff that I've been through. I love my life. I'm not going to say I wouldn't change it. I ain't going to push it. There's some things I would change, for sure. But I'm happy to be, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy to be here, you know? And that's just that. So I hope that this message find people in good spirits. I hope this message find people in good health. I hope that, you know, I mean, if you hear, that means that, you know, besides the people, my people who's watching it just to support me, like, you know, besides y'all, but if you happen to search because you're looking for, you know, some information or some inspiration or whatever, and you happen to come across this video because you're in the same spot that I am, like, you got this. You got it. Please, like, because I'm like, I sit here, you know, I'm like, I admire myself, right? Not to be sounding cocky or like whatever, because I don't know. But because I'm thinking like, girl, like you really, I thank God for my mental space all the time. Because I'm like, you really did this shit and you took that, oh, I'm so sorry for cursing. I took it on the chin. I'm like, I just, you know. And then when things are out of my control, I'm not dwelling on that. I'm not going to dwell on that. You know, the serenity prayer is real. Take the things I can't take, the things that I can control, I do what I need to do. Whatever I can't control, I give that to God. If you need to say the serenity prayer, say that. You know what I'm saying? Do things that's going to help you keep going, to keep pushing, to never give up. It's to never give up. It's to keep pushing. It's to keep going. You got this. Like, you know what I'm saying? And even that, the last, like, not to, you know, change the subject, but when my mom passed, and I was watching her pass away or whatever, and she was telling me how scared she was, and she was just saying, like, she was not ready to go. Even in that space, it's like, everything's gonna be okay. Still. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not to get, like, crazy, you know, sentimental and everything. Like, not to get, like, but I'm just saying, like, so just please do what you need to do for your life. Fight for your life. Speak up. You know what I'm saying? Feel all the feels, but never give up. Don't let it beat you. Don't. Like, you have any questions, you ask them, you do your research, you get checked. You hear me? You get checked. You go to the doctor, you get checked. If you don't have health insurance, you can check your own breast. And that's another thing too. So, dang, I probably should have said this in the beginning, but I didn't have any lumps in my breast. Like, I didn't feel a lump. Because clearly, if I would have felt a lump, it would have been the markers that they put in my breast. Like I told you, they were so dense. But with the DCIS, it wasn't a lump. It was more of just the cluster. Like, it wasn't hard. You could just see it through the sonogram and on a mammogram. But anywho's, but check your breast. Get checked. Speak up for yourself. You have a thought, say it. I don't care how dumb it sounds. I don't care how afraid you are. Say it. Like, and if you don't say it then, say it before you go, you know what I'm saying? Before you take something, like, oh, you know what, I was thinking, like, you know, because it's just crazy. And it's just crazy how, you know, they were saying how people think that once you go through surgery, like that's the end of it. But the medication is something else. It's something to consider also, right? Because the medication can do damage to you too. So it's like a lot of stuff that we have to think about when we're in this when we on this journey. It's a lot of stuff. It comes at you fast. It's intimidating. It's scary as hell. But you're here, so you get to be here, and you get to do what you need to do for you, and you get to take your time and slow it down. And I have a book. Oh, I don't have my book. Sorry. Just 1 second. Who is it? Sorry about that. They just ring anybody bell. Like, spare me. Anyway, but yeah, so that's that. Let me see. Look, I said all of this. Let me make sure this is recording. Oh yeah, it is. How many minutes? 41 minutes? All right. Let me stop this right here. 41 minutes go crazy. All right, let me stop it. I didn't even know I was yapping that much. All right, so that's that. Like, right? That's what I wanted to leave today. I'm gonna insert some pictures and everything. And I just hope that this finds you. I hope that this video did something for you. And please, like I said, never give up. You got this. You got this. Alright. So, also, subscribe, comment, like. If you guys have any questions, hit the comment section. Whatever you want to know, whatever you want to leave it. I'll get back to you. Also, you know, subscribe, follow me on here. I will definitely be sharing my journey with you guys throughout this whole everything. Medication, me getting my implants, me getting my breast filled, because right now this one is finished, but this one is not. So I'm gonna document all of that. I'm hoping to see if I can show you guys me being filled. I'm gonna ask my plastic surgeon. But any hoosers, yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're having a great day. And y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Amen?